different than the team you had in the spring. Did you kind of know that that was probably going to be the case going into the year, that you were going to lose the host sisters at the Q school and then you would have a completely different squad this year?
Yeah, we knew it was a possibility to lose Viv and you mid-year with going through LPGA school, like we always do with Arizona women's golf, is we adapt our roster and we keep fighting.
So then as you go into the spring, how does that kind of all start to come together with, I mean, obviously Carolyn got a lot of time, Gilly played a lot of football, but then you had some girls that didn't necessarily play football. So how do you get them up to speed quickly and try to do that?
Well, luckily our roster is 6 young women, and I think having Yachan and Gile as a consistent staple in our roster has helped lead our freshmen and Maya Benita, Lila and Carolina as being freshmen to kind of guide them and know the expectation and to just to help everybody. I think when you're a small, intimate group, it always makes it a little easier.
How about the new format in Albuquerque? What type of challenge is that? What do you feel is the new format?
I personally love that there's now 6 regionals. 4 teams only get out, but that means there's only 12 teams at the regional. And so I think that disperses the best teams in the country a little bit more evenly. And before we always had a problem with having 18 teams at an NCAA regional where you couldn't have 18 teams on the golf course, and so the pace of play, there were so many issues with that. So now that there's less regionals, this will be more like a solid golf tournament and a better experience for the student athletes.
What's kind of made Carolina, one of your better players this year?
Well, Carolina, she's came in, and even as a freshman coming in this August, she was ranked top 40 in the world. She came through COVID pretty strong, worked really, really hard, where at a time where maybe in Italy you really couldn't, but she did, and it showed. And she came in, I think, also in the fall with guidance of, you saying Vivian and Gile, some upperclassmen that kind of helped guide her through college golf. And Carrot's also one of the most fiery players I've ever coached, and I think when she sets her mind to something, she's going to do it.
What do you think about some of these teams in the regional? You're familiar with Oregon, a couple others you don't play as much.
We're excited. We've played with Oregon all year. We actually paired up with them at the Florida State matchup. They're a great team. The number 2 seed is going to be, I believe it's Texas or Florida. We've seen Texas a lot this year. Those teams do not scare me, not one bit, and I think Georgia, who's the 6th seed, and then you've got TCU, the 7th seed, we've beat them all year. So I feel very confident that if the Arizona Wildcats come to play at this regional like we know we can, we could potentially win or definitely come up on top.
What was most impressive to you about the rally at the Pac-12s, and what do you want to take from that into outward?
Our women showed so much fight those last 2 days. We played so poorly that first round, but I felt like we might have been waiting for bad weather or just like thinking we weren't going to play. And so I think when they saw that they had dug themselves a pretty good hole, they were pretty down, and my thought process was like, let's build each other up. Let's, no more pouting faces, and let's get out there and let's battle. And we had 2 days ahead to fight through the conditions, which were really, really tough. Some of the toughest I've ever coached in. And they did. They battled. They believed in themselves, and they played tremendous golf to finish T5 and beat ASU.
How about just making the tournament for 29 straight years? And correct me if that's not the right way to back because of the way it is. So what does that mean to being able to go back?
I just think that's the expectation for Arizona golf. NCAA regionals is never our goal. We're happy that we've accomplished that and we're there. But at the end of the year, if you're a Wildcat, the postseason is not regionals. Postseason is the NCAA championship, and I mean that's the way we look at it, and that's the way my athletes think of it. It's we don't look at it as this huge accomplishment to qualify for the NCAA regional. We're like we better be there, or I shouldn't have a job.
What is it about this team? Last year you had the same thing in the Pac-12 where you played the first day and it was kind of rough, and then all of a sudden you started playing much better. You finished pretty well.
I just think we do day to day, the boring stuff. We do it pretty well. These women, they show up every day, And it's sometimes if they're tired, if they don't feel like it, they're still there and they're still grinding, they push through. We're doing all of the small things very, very well. And at the end of a season, which seems to be at the time that we peak, I think it's because we're consistent. These women know what hard work is, they know what it takes, and so I think that's what pushes us through. And I think as with our success, even before 2018 win, we know what postseason means and how fun it is to be there and to win and to do great things, because that's what it is. It's a lot of fun.
And you know this course pretty well. You played there a few years ago. What does it give you? What doesn't it give you? Where are the rough spots that you have to pay attention to?
Well, we are very lucky because unlike other schools, we're in altitude. We're at 2,000 feet above sea level. We're going to 5,000 feet above sea level. Other schools are at sea level right now. That's going to be a big change. And so we are at a huge advantage. Albuquerque is very similar to Tucson, very similar climate. This golf course is very forgiving off the tee, big greens. I mean, it's just like a golf course that we might have down the road, similar to Tucson Country Club, or, it might have some holes similar to Star Pass or whatnot. But it's a great golf course that we've experience. We play there almost every year. We play in the Dick McGuire New Mexico tournament. We played there last year, and it's a short travel day, so it makes life easy.
So does the overall approach then change when you go 3,000 feet higher in terms of club selection and all that kind of thing?
100%, because the ball's going to fly. It's going to go so much farther, which we are already used to that here in Tucson at 2,000 feet above sea level. So we have to adjust tremendously, when we go to Stanford or if we go to Hawaii, because then we're all of a sudden at 0 feet above sea level. So it's an adjustment that all teams will make, but we have technology to help our ladies figure out how far they're carrying their golf ball and what we need to do. But I feel super confident.
What's the preparation for that in terms of, okay, you're going to below sea level, but you're practicing here. Can you practice that?
No, not really. Not really. Most of the work starts when immediately when you get to the golf tournament. So we're going to Albuquerque. We're actually going to go a day early. We're going to play another course. We're going to play 9 holes. We're going to learn the distances that the girls are hitting, so that way before the practice round, we've already in our mind got an idea of how far we're hitting this club. What are the greens like? All of those things. So we're going to go an extra day early just to prepare, like we do usually at any other NCAA regional. But yeah, we do the best we can to adapt to the conditions that we'll be playing in.
What's some of this technology?
TrackMan, just flight scope, launch ball monitors, just things that we use that we have.
So now
We have that. U of A. We keep it. Yeah, most schools have it nowadays. It's pretty normal.
And where are you practicing this week to sort of help you also simulate certain things that are similar to the golf?
Well, really, we've been out at Tucson Country Club a lot because it's one of the courses in town that actually has some rough. Because I genuinely feel like when we get to Albuquerque, they're going to have some thicker rough than we've got here. I think our grass here is starting to become a little bit more dormant, not as thick, and so we need to make sure we're playing and practicing at places that has rough around the greens, fast, firm conditions, similar to our fairways that we see. We had a couple ladies playing at the gallery yesterday, which is good because there'll be some elevated greens. But really, all in all, I mean, we just need to, just like I said, keep doing the small things while practicing what we need to work on and get ready for to build confidence, and we'll be right there.
Where is Gilly now, the girl that took the putt?
Well, she's right there. No, I'm kidding. Gilly is probably one of the absolute most mature and humble players I've ever had. But Gilly works really, really hard. And so Gilly has taken a role on this team as a leader, which we've needed, I think, when you lose Yuseng and Vivian, and Yuseng being a senior last year. And I think with Gilly's postseason experience, she's earned the respect that she should, and I think she takes that very seriously, and she's a person that really, really helps this team to strive at the right moment and gets everybody in the right mindset.
It feels like I can sing right here.
Money, questions for Money. So Money, just kind of the whole thing with the altitude. How do you adjust when you go and play in places that are higher elevation?
I think it's pretty similar than like just as in Tucson, so nothing too much different. Yeah.
How did you get the
So when I was like 7 years old, so that's when I started to play golf. My coach wanted to encourage me. So he was saying like, oh, if you make a up and down or if you make a birdie, I give you how much dollar or something. So that's kind of encouraged me have a motivation to play well. I mean, so in one of the tournament, cause I was just like 7 years old, so we play like a course that's really short. So there's one that made like 9 birdies ish. So in that time, make probably like probably $15. That's a lot for me. Save it, put it in the bank.
What did you like most about the way the girls rallied in the Pac-12s from after that start?
We all did our best, and then we don't give ourselves too much pressure, and then we don't want to be like too fancy. So par is good, but we don't need to have like ego birdie birdie or something like that. Otherwise, we will give ourselves too much pressure, and then your ball striking, everything just being like unnatural, like not consistent, because your emotion is like up and down too much. Yeah, just letting the natural take its course, and eventually it will show its outcome.
How'd you start playing? Did your dad play? Mom played? Or
Huh?
how'd you start playing golf? Why? Why'd you start playing golf?
Oh, both of my parents are golf caddy, and my dad used to be a player in Taiwan, but he realized that he could not make much money, so he started being a caddy.
Did he caddy for anybody interesting? Did he ever caddy for any top professionals?
They caddy at a golf course back home, but sometime the golf course will host a tournament, so they get to caddy for the player. But my dad used to caddy at Asian Tour. Yeah.
So what's your mindset going into this tournament next month?
Just do what we're supposed to do. Again, just letting the nature take its course, and eventually will show its outcome.
And
Yeah.
how are you helping the younger players who haven't been here before?
I mean, just don't give themselves too much pressure. Just have fun, because it's postseason.
How am I different? I mean, right now it just stands in my mind like a great memory. How am I different? I feel like over this past year, I've proven myself that nothing comes easy to you, and you have to work hard for it. And just like that putt at Nationals, I think that was just an outcome of all that we did in the whole entire season. So I feel like right now, I just live it as a good memory in my head.
What kind of confidence still did that give you going into the summer and then coming back into the fall?
It definitely gave me confidence and just knowing that I can probably perform under pressure. But I mean, every single season is a new beginning, so it's really hard to live off of really old memories. So I mean, yes, it gave me confidence going into summer. It proved to me that sometimes I can do what's needed to be done. But after all, it's still the same golf, still the same work, and you just gotta do what you do every single day.
How much in the fall were you preparing yourself for the possibility that, the host sisters are going to be gone? I may be the leader of this squad come spring.
I mean, I've learned a lot from Vivian and Yu. Not only their game, because they're amazing players, but also how they lead the team beyond the course, what they do on their days off, how they recover, how they prepare mentally. So I did know that there is a possibility they're going to leave. I think we were all really sad that they left. But that kind of just put me in the position where I had all the knowledge that they gave me, and I tried to use that knowledge to the best advantage of myself and the team too.
What's maybe that you talk about recovery? What's maybe the one key aspect of that?
I think we do a lot of physical therapy and also workouts. They prevent injuries. But I think what I saw in Yuseng and Vivian is how much they take care of their bodies when it comes to eating, when it comes to even meditation, when it comes to just taking care that when you go to a tournament, your body will be ready and your mind will be ready too. Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like when it comes to regionals, it really depends a lot on how we prepare for it. So right now, all that my head is in is how can we be better? How can we get better before regionals? And when we get to the course, all that we can do is execution. But right now, it's how we can change our attitudes, how we can just change how we think on the course and just get those final dots in if it's your full swing, if it's something that you need to work on your mental game, and just really, really preparing. Yeah.
Last week was a tough week in women's college sports with the death of Lauren Burnett and James Madison. What are some of the things you do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself on that?
Yeah, those things have been happening this season and over this year, and I believe in the past too. They are really, really sad. And I feel like the one main thing that you need to do as a student athlete is give yourself credit for what you do, because there might be a lot of people from the outside that think it's easy. We just live our best life, and we do. We do live our best life here as student athletes, but I feel like we need to find a balance between our life here in sports and academics, but also in the life beyond that, what we do in our free time, if we can just find something that makes us happy. So I feel like we need to find the balance and not just get too stressed out on what you do as a student athlete.
You mentioned the meditation part of it.
Yeah.
What are some of the things maybe you do to kind of calm yourself?
Yeah, so I've been working a lot with my coaches from Europe, and they encourage me a lot to spend at least 10 minutes in the daytime to completely clean your thoughts out of your head. So your head would not be crowded all the time. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do. It's hard. It's really hard because there's a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions going through my head, but that's kind of what I've been trying to do, and especially on the golf course too. Sometimes before the shot, you just need to clear your head from all the things that you're thinking about. So that also comes into play during golf too. So yeah.
Well, it's just like something that actually came from Italy, because, well, I mean, I kind of like carrots a lot, so I used to like eat a lot of them. And since like the pronunciation is kind of similar, I mean, it came from there, but I kind of brought it here, because like pronouncing the R in Carolina, it's like not really easy for like American speaking people, but so yeah, carrot is like a good nickname, I guess.
So is that a superstition? Do you still eat carrots before matches?
No, not really, not really, but it's just like a funny thing. Yeah.
How'd you hear about Arizona?
I mean, I didn't like directly hear of it, but like when you play tournaments in Europe, like I don't know, European amateur championships and everything, like usually coaches from the universities come to watch like players, so they recruit us, and so that's what basically happened to me. And then like players decide which schools to visit, and then once they get to like visit all of the ones that they chose, they get to a decision and just like commit to a university. But yeah. Sorry? Me? Italian and English. Oh, well, I studied Spanish for like 3 years, so I'm not like really able to speak it, but I can understand it and everything. But yeah.
And what attracted you to Arizona?
The weather for sure, but also the team, coaches, and everything. It's like perfect. Like this is the place for student athletes. So, I mean, looking back, I would do the same thing.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite thing about Tucson since getting here?
I don't know. I guess like how student athletes are treated, and yeah, I mean everything. Weather, food. So.
Is there any misperception of the United States maybe that when you got here you said, oh, it's not really clean, it's not really like that here?
Well, I always looked at the USA as like a great place actually. So I've never had like any kind of like negative ideas, if you want. So it was actually, I mean, I kind of expected that to be like this. So yeah. Uh,
in Italy?
I mean, I would not say that like it was difficult to play like in Tucson, but maybe like just going around and playing tournaments in like different countries. Like I don't know, I remember Arkansas was like my first tournament, and I actually found it to be like very tough, but just because, I mean, I was not used to this like type of courses like so wide, but at the same time like so strategic and everything. So yeah, it was like, yeah, kind of a tough transition, but like still, with like practice and everything, it got better.
And it seems like that you quickly adapted because you played pretty well throughout
Well,
this whole season.
thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's just like practice, and just like constantly getting to, I don't know, just like practicing under pressure every single time for sure. It's like so important. So that helps a lot.
Is there one part of the game because of the courses that you really focused
Um, I mean, not really. Like, I consider every single part of the game to be fundamental. But for sure, strategy, which is not like actually hitting shots, but like thinking about the shot, it's like the most important thing to actually hit the shot. So I guess that's the part of the game that I have to still like work on. Uh, but I mean, I feel like I got kind of better in that too. So yeah, I just have to keep working on that.
and how have your teammates and your coaches helped you?
Well, for sure, having someone to like, which was like already used to this thing, it was very helpful. I mean, like looking at my teammates like Gile or, well, Yusung and Viv for sure during the full semester. Uh, that was absolutely like amazing. That was fantastic, and that helped a lot. And but like in general, like the team, it's amazing. Like we support each other, we push each other on every single time, like during practice, during tournaments. So it's like perfect.
So you play with the Little Sisters in the fall, and then what was your first thought when they qualified out, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's the
I
score?
was I was actually so happy for them because like that's my dream too. So I was like, oh my God, they're right there where I hope to get to. But I was like so happy for them, and at the same time, I was like, I don't know, like what are we gonna do now? We're gonna like practice more. We're gonna, I don't know, just like create mm, this like team bond that would help us. So that was like the first thought, and yeah, it worked. So yeah.
We talked to a Swedish golfer from Pima last week who said that in the wintertime in Europe, sometimes you ski on their favorite golf course. Have you ever done that?
Well, I went skiing on a golf course actually, but it was not my favorite. But still, it was a golf course, so it was kind of interesting.
Was that cross country skiing, I would imagine, versus like actually downhill?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like it's an interesting experience, I would say. But yeah, thank you.